To the extent this can be partially a West Transit, a West LA Transit Center, and the two can be combined, that would be great.
Great, thanks for
Welcome.
Hello, I'm Darrell Clark, here as Sierra Club Angeles Chapter Transportation Co-Chair. For background, I'm a past member and chair of the City of Santa Monica Planning Commission. My condolences to you. And also co-chair of Friends for Expo Transit, not representing them today. 4 points on, is this the right TOD for this location? First, how does it fit? How does its size fit the LA general plan? 16 stories is certainly not a 2 to 6 story community center. So when did Pico and Sepulveda become a regional center? And in calculating the FAR of the site, you're including the metro right-of-way. Casden doesn't own that. You don't include the adjacent streets. It's really a 4.4, not a 2.77. Awfully car-oriented for a TOD. We support Eric Bruin's comments on bike and transit access. My timer is out. Support the supermarket. City of Santa Monica likes that near intense residential, but big box retail is not a TOD. I'll close there. Thank you.
Darrell, thanks, and thanks for your service.
Very good. Very good.
Chris, before you begin, could I invite up Gordon, I do think it's Ferguson, Piedmont Brown, Greg Lewis, Ron Mayhew, and Sharon Cummings. Welcome.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Chris Hannon. I'm a council representative for the Los Angeles Orange County Building and Construction Trades Council. We represent 140,000 members within 52 affiliated local unions for 14 trades. Many of us are here today. We are proud to support the Casden West LA project, and we urge you to approve it today. The Casden project stands out for many reasons. It will be built under an agreement with the Building Trades Council, creating over 1,500 jobs. These are jobs with fair wages, health care, retirement securities. These jobs are going to empower the economy for our future. In fact, Casden is participating in our Helmets to Hard Hats program, which brings military veterans into the trades careers. I can't think of people who deserve these jobs more. The building trades first testified on behalf of this project more than 2 months ago, and in that time, Casden has made improvements. We support this project. Thank you.
Chris, thank you, and for everybody who's here with you, we appreciate you being here. Welcome.
Mr. President, Commissioners, Gordon Berkelson, Del Rey. I've lived and worked in the area for the past 40 years. I'm in opposition to the Casden project in its present form. It's inappropriate over-densification that's more transit-obstructing than transit-oriented. We urge the developer to cooperate with the Expo Authority and with the LA County zoning laws. As a citizen and veteran, I would like to see this as a regional transportation hub, as so many others do, services the VA, federal buildings, National Cemetery, UCLA, West LA College, and a whole lot of other entities. In any event, this is the wrong project for this location. Thank you.
Gordon, thank you. Welcome. Please introduce yourself.
Good morning. My name is Piedmont Brown. I'm the president of the Ironworkers Local 433. We represent thousands of skilled, hardworking men and women. These are the people you see at the top of every building. We go up many, many stories to build this city. We strongly support the Casden West LA project, and we urge you to vote for staff recommendation today. Our trade was hit hard by the recession. As the economic picture starts to improve, we're seeing opportunities on the project that do not exist several years ago. The Expo line is bringing a new approach to the development in our city.
transit-oriented developments are good for Los Angeles. Times have changed, and it's time for us to get out of our cars. Casden West LA will be built under an agreement with the building trade. The developers are doing this right. They're not shortcoming anyone. They're not cutting corners, and they're working with the skilled building trades, and they will get our best. We'll be very proud to build Casden West LA. We support this project, and we strongly urge you to vote yes and move to the next stage.
Thank you for being here. Welcome, please introduce yourself.
Good morning, my name is Greg Lewis. I'm a business agent for UA Local 761 Plumbers and Pipe Fitters. I represent about 1,200 members that live and work in the West LA area. This project just makes good sense for us. LA needs these transit-oriented development. It's got affordable housing for seniors. It's going to bring much needed revenue to the city, and most importantly, it's going to provide good paying jobs for people that desperately need them. Thank you for your time.
Good. Welcome.
Mr. Chairman and members of the commission, my name is Ron Mayhew, and I have a number of points. Much of what I would have said has already been said, so I won't retrace old steps. But I am an urban planner in private practice. I've been around this city in a professional manner since 1970, and I would recall that even then, the city of Los Angeles had what was known as the centers concept, which intended this very thing, which is now called transit-oriented development, to encourage the type of development that's being proposed here. I don't live in this area. I live in Mid-Wilshire. I live in an area that has 4,100 units in it and about 4 means of access. I can tell you that the traffic situation is by no means over the top and by no means impossible to deal with. I urge you to approve this project.
Thanks for being here, and it's nice of you to mention the centers concept. Welcome.
Hi, Commissioners. I'm Sharon Cummins. I'm Chair of the Mar Vista Community Council, representing 60,000 people. And we do, in fact, oppose this project as presented. I won't repeat the comments that Ken and Daryl and Barbara made, but the Community Council's in substantial support of those points. And I think enough issues have been raised so that a 2-week extension would be warranted so that you could really take a closer look at this project and how it relates to the concept of a regional transportation center. I also would like to point out, just in an extra comment, that this project cries out for a new kind of methodology. Hopefully we can build this into the rewrite of the zoning code. I think that every major project like this should have a required public meeting as part of the submission package where all these issues could be spelled out ahead of time and proposed mitigation measures and problem solutions could be put down. It should be required as part of the submission package, and I think it should be written into the code. It would save us all a lot of time and trouble, a lot of fighting, and frankly, I think it would result in better projects. Thank you very much for your time.
Sure, those are very interesting comments. Thank you. Could I invite up Lillian Laskin, please? Hillary Norton, Gina Whitman, Brett Pomeroy, and Bennett Colton. Welcome. Please introduce yourself and dignity.
Hi, I'm Lillian Laskin, and I live in the area as well. I do not oppose development at this site. I do oppose the way it's being developed because it's much too big for the area. We have congestion at that intersection 6 hours a day, 3 hours in the morning, 3 hours in the afternoon. If you notice that the emphasis by the people from the city have given you is that they're emphasizing the jobs and the retail and the housing. They're underemphasizing the access to the site by people who want to use the rail. They're underemphasizing the traffic situation. We actually spent a lot of money to build this line at the public expense, and now they're talking about building 600 plus residential places, which will be very expensive. One of the reasons we have tons of traffic on the west side is people cannot afford to live here. We need places people can afford, This is not going to be one of them, and it's going to be very unhealthy under the 405 freeway.
Lillian, thanks for being here. And if everybody who I called could come up and queue up if you're still here. Thank you. Welcome.
Good morning. My name is Hillary Norton, and I'm the Executive Director of FAST, Fixing Angelenos Stuck in Traffic. And I disagree that we don't have a traffic problem. I think we have a pretty profound one. I will say that I was supposed to be joined by a number of interns from UCLA here today, but this is happening at precisely the time of the UCLA Complete Streets Conference downtown. And so there are a number of people who really wanted to speak on this issue. We've submitted a letter that speaks specifically to the transportation issues. We are not here to speak on the size and scope of this project, only on the transportation. But I'd like to make a couple of points. Measure R is already $5 billion short of its anticipated revenues because we continue to lose sales tax because we are in a recession. Until we build things that create jobs, have retail opportunities, and have sales tax opportunities, we are not going to achieve the transportation network we hope for. I would propose that all sales tax attributable to this project, even with the jobs that go specifically towards West Side projects. In addition, I wanted to agree with the transit passes for all, the bus layover zone, the unbundling parking, which we recommended last time, and making sure that we increase the amount of bike parking. There are so many UCLA students who see this as their only connection. And I will say that on the bus layover zone and a lot of the transit center issues, we met with the developers and our UCLA interns in the summer and asked, have you thought about these concepts? And they said, absolutely, we've been trying
So
to
Hillary,
talk.
I'm gonna have to interrupt. If you can stay here, I think we'll get deeper into those issues.
Okay.
And happy to bring you back up, and thanks for choosing us over the Complete Streets Conference.
Yeah, thank you.
Welcome.
My name is Bennett Cohen. According to the FEIR on page F-137, the City of Los Angeles recognizes that it is not feasible to mitigate to less than the significant level the following impacts relative to the Casden project: air quality, land use, noise, and traffic. The test that the city has applied is the statement of overriding consideration to approve the project. And it goes on to state that the FEIR states that the City of Los Angeles hereby finds that the benefits outweigh and override the significant unavoidable impacts. That was the test. However, that is not the test that should be applied. The correct test, commissioners, is whether you would want your parents, your spouses, your sons, your daughters, and your families with your grandchildren to live in one of the Casden apartments with the acknowledged health hazards and diminished quality of life that cannot be mitigated to less than significant levels. I think the answer is no, and based on that answer, you need to vote no on the project as presently
And
passed.
thank you for being
Thank
here.
you.
Brett, I think before you begin, could I invite up Arthur Casden, Sean Knecht, Rusty Broughton, and Mary Singaus, I believe. Welcome.
Hi, yes, I'm part of the EIR consultant team and was asked to fill out a card in case there are any questions on the air quality analysis. The company do that.
I'm sorry, you got mixed in with the, okay, thank you. Welcome, please introduce yourself.
My name is Arthur Casden. I'm a traffic engineering consultant to the Westward South of Santa Monica Boulevard Association. My favorite quote in the staff report is, "The development project's traffic would not cause traffic flow to freeze, preventing any vehicles, emergency or otherwise, to move through the study area." Obviously, the author has not been out of the site. Between 3 and 7 p.m., traffic is already frozen. The Casden traffic engineer admits that there will be 19 intersections in the area, about 6 or 8 of them along Sepulveda Boulevard, that will not be mitigable. It will have impacts that are not mitigable. We are not certainly against transit, the Expo line. In fact, I live in Culver City, and the Expo line is very popular there. However, if you cannot get to the expo line, you cannot board the train. The bike lane was not considered. It's going to remove a lane from Sepulveda Boulevard, making conditions even worse than the report. By the way, as somebody noticed before, the report was not made public. It is somewhere in the bowels.
I'm gonna have to interrupt. Thank you for being here. Welcome.
Morning. My name is Sean Connect, and I live in West LA, Santa Monica, and Federal. I've long been looking forward to the completion of the Expo line because I believe it'll help alleviate the traffic pressure around the Olympic and Pico area. We've already seen the benefits of the light rail since opening last spring. Me personally, I go on Saturdays to the USC football games. I go drive to Culver City and then I use the Expo line to get down there, and it's mobbed with people, as some of you should know. What makes it attractive is the ability to go to the west side, to downtown. I've been in LA for about 3 years now, and having explored downtown very much, it's hard to get down there with drinking and driving. I don't condone that, so I have to use the Expo rail, and I'm looking forward to get to closer to the west side. I think the projects like Casden, which is next to the Expo line, which will help maximize the potential of it. I approve this message. I approve this.
Welcome.
Hello, my name is Rusty Roten, and I'm a resident of Mar Vista, and I grew up in this area. I travel by this intersection 5 days a week, okay? And so, yeah, it's got traffic. But I'm telling you that I am endorsing this project. That corner right there is a blight. This, the artist rendering this thing's gorgeous. It's gorgeous, and it meets all kinds of needs for the community. The area, my family actually has some business property half a block away to the north, and this would provide additional parking to the area. You've heard people make comments about the bike lane, so this would add parking, and it would also improve and support some of the businesses in the area. But you'd have community use parking there and walking up and down there. People could park in this structure of their facility, catch the train, go to work, come back, go to the grocery store right there, throw the groceries in the car, and then go home. It meets everybody's needs. It's universally designed. It's what we're looking for. Thank you very much.
Rusty, thank you. Mary, before you begin, can I invite up our final speakers, Marilyn Cohen, Gregory White, and Hans, I think it's Schrader? And have I called everybody who signed the speaker card? If there's someone I didn't, please come forward. Mary, welcome.
Hi, I'm Mary Singlis, and I live in Mar Vista, and I do frequent that area. The main thing, three main things, is too big for the needs of the area, too many exemptions that strains our infrastructure, and not enough of what is needed, which is a transit center. It's like I ordered a drone to carpet sweep my house, and then I do want the Metrolink, but I don't want the elephant that comes with it. And so the elephant is really beautiful animal in its right place. But in the middle of my living room, it doesn't fit so well, and I can't get around it. So I really hope you reconsider some of these overridings and Thank you.
Mary, one of the best metaphors we've heard. Welcome.
My name is Marilyn Cohen, and I'm Vice President of Westwood South of Santa Monica. And we're directly adjacent to the project proposal. Ours is a long-established, low-rise community of single-family homes, low-density multifamily housing, shops, and offices, which has found itself a gridlocked conduit between areas of overdevelopment approved with no attention to the abysmally inadequate infrastructure. This project, in addition to a request for a zone change, is proposing a mixed-use project including 150,000 square feet of commercial space, 600, way oversized. And the developer would like you to believe that all the traffic will go away and by going down our narrow streets designed in the 1920s. If you give the green light to this proposal in its current form, you are telling the residents, the businesses, and the employees in our community that they are the only ones to pay the price for this inappropriate gift to a developer. When everyone else goes home, we are left to cope with the bad decisions.
Thank you.
Here, thank you very much.
And I have many, letters in our community.
If you could make sure that James has a copy, if you'd like to submit that, thank you. Welcome.
Thank you. My name is Hans Scheider. I've lived at the same residence, same address, in West LA since 1945. I know what the city used to be like. It's a wonderful area. I know what it's like today. It's a miserable area. Traffic, of course, is the reason it's a miserable area. This monstrosity which is being proposed is going to require, and it already has a lot of space for, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of parking spaces for automobiles. They're not for bicycles, not for wheelchairs, they're for automobiles. Where are those automobiles going to drive? They're going to drive on the city streets that already are incapable of handling the traffic we have. That's why these things can't be mitigated. Are you going to double deck Pico or double deck Sepulveda? This is nonsense. I was one of the founding members of Friends for Expo. We started Friends for Expo because we wanted to mitigate traffic on the 10 freeway. That's why we put Friends for Expo in. Anybody who believes that people are riding because Friends for Expo line is in will sell their automobiles is an idiot. They're going to keep their automobiles. This is a means to get downtown back more economically and faster because the I-10 freeway was a disaster. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think we have everybody who's spoken who signed a speaker card. The last speaker is Whitney Blumenfeld. Should I invite Whitney up, please?
Either way. Whitney's gonna go, but I believe I turned in the card as well.
Oh, well, please go
Just
ahead.
for reference.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Somehow we.
It's no problem. So, good morning. I think it's still morning, commissioners, and thank you for the opportunity to speak on this project in its current form and its current size. The Councilman Perez is opposed to this project.
Please introduce yourself so that you.
Christopher Coons on behalf of Councilman Paul Perez, Council District 5, where the project exists. I do want to underscore, we've worked with communities and developers over the almost 4 years now that the councilman's been in office. This is the first time that I'm here opposing a major project, but we really just haven't seen the progress we need to see on this project, and it has no support in terms of large organizations, homeowners groups, neighborhood councils. It's not a project that's supported because it's too tall. So I don't know how many of you have been out to the site, but just if you think about that, and it has serious traffic impacts. And TOD means transit-oriented development. It doesn't mean anything goes, and it has to be a project. If we're going to do TOD, we have to do it right. It has to be something that actually encourages transit usage. So I have a few observations. 25% of the housing in this project is within 500 feet of the freeway. This project's at least 25% too large in terms of number of dwelling units and the associated traffic impacts. I don't know why, from a design standpoint, there hasn't been consideration of locating the project outside of that 50-foot range, at least the residential portion of the project.
You mean 500 foot?
500 foot. It's been, we brought it up in the EAR, it's been brought up in meetings, but it's gone on deaf ears. If we're gonna do TOD, I don't know why this project wouldn't have the best bike parking in the world, why it wouldn't have the type of transit center that you've heard a lot of speakers talk about. And we seem to have all coalesced around this residential component, but just to remind everyone about the project, the EIR did look at a commercial sort of office and or industrial project that was a major amount of new development. It found that project would have been environmentally superior. In that type of project, in the terms of employees, you can control to a certain degree whether they use transit or not. You can't do that with residences. So that's something to think about. I just want to leave you with that, we feel this project is too large and that it has no community support. If you were to take the action today to send them back to the drawing board, we are committed to coming up with a project with the Casden team and with the community that works on this site. We want to see this site develop. We want to see construction workers employed, but we don't want to settle for something that isn't acceptable, that isn't the quality that we deserve, and that has impacts that aren't acceptable, and that's where we are today.
Chris, thanks for being here. Whitney, welcome.
Welcome, thank you. Whitney Blumenfeld for Councilmember Bill Rosendahl. The council member, first of all, is extremely upset that this was held in the Valley. We understand process, he understands process. He's upset solely because many of his community members could not make it today. A project of this size, of this magnitude, and of this importance does need to be held at night, closer to the community that is affected. He also believes that a project needs to be here that is far more in scale with the local community that it is situated in. Furthermore, there needs to be as CD5 has represented, a far more structured and discussed and worked transit center. Lastly, along the lines of what CD5 said, this project does need to go back to the drawing board. There needs to be a working group, a community group, some sort of group with CD5, CD11, community members, the Casden team, to create a project that people support. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. With that, I will close the public hearing. And Henry, if we can prepare our list, I'd like to take a 5-minute break.
Colleen, you have to talk to security. What? Oh, I haven't talked. Okay, good, thank you. Yeah. Okay. By the way, read out more. My tea is.
Interfering with anything that we're
Right up front. Terry, I asked him the procedure. He told me oh, maybe, yeah, you're right. They just changed it. When they changed
I absolutely think you've been a long.
Okay. Okay, we're good. Turn this.
Club, CD 11 Transportation Advisory Committee, Street LA, Los Angeles County Business Council, Coalition for Clean Air, the Coalition Fast Fixing Effective Traffic, Move LA, Los Angeles County Bicycle Coalition, the West LA Chamber of Commerce, U.S. Green Business Council, Climate Resolve, Westwood South of Santa Monica HOA, the Los Angeles County Building and Construction Trades Council. And I'm sure there are additional ones. If I've missed any, I'm sure the applicant can provide that information.
Great, so if questions come up, we can go there. Yes, great. Any other questions for Henry before we go to public comment? Commissioner? Hearing none. Henry, thank you. Could you help us by taking notes during public comment and try to give us your best shot at a list of issues? Thank you. And I'd like to begin from the mayor's office. I'm very happy to welcome Rogelio Navarro. If we could start with it. Rogelio, please. Welcome.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioners, good morning. My name is Rogelio Navarro. I'm representing the Mayor's Office of Business and Economic Policy. The future of Los Angeles is in transit-oriented development. The city and the county and the region in general have been investing billions of dollars citywide and are creating a transit corridor and transit network that will rival those of other big cities in America. We're here to express our support for this project. It is an urban infill, mixed-use, mixed-income development that will connect and tie a vital part of the city in West LA with other parts of the region. We're glad to hear that there are a considerable number of jobs that will be created, revenues created, but also a framework that's being provided that looks at connectivity between pedestrians, retail, residential, as well as biking options. With that, you have a transit system that will connect LA, and on our part of the mayor's office, we are here to express our support for this project moving forward today. Thank you so much for your time.
Rogelio, thank you so much for being here. So I'd now like to begin the public hearing process. What I'm going to ask you to do is if you would queue up in groups of 5 behind the microphone. And I apologize in advance because of the large number of speakers. I'm going to put a minute on the clock for each speaker. But we are really trying hard to make sure we can get all your information. If you could make your key salient points, and then we always do have the opportunity to go back and revisit those at the end of the discussion to make sure that we've got the full picture, and that will be up to the discretion of all the commissioners. So with that, let me invite up Frank Sawala, Rock Ernest, Elliot Kahn, Eric Bruins, and Ken Alpern. And when you come up, in any order, just please introduce yourself and begin.
Good morning. My name is Frank Zavala. I'm the president of Los Angeles and Orange County Building Construction Trade. I'm very proud to say we are working right now on the Expo line. So we know firsthand how much the line will add quality life to Los Angeles. The Expo line will work if we build housing nearby. Casden, West LA is one of the best examples we have. Other benefits, jobs, Casden will create under agreement with the building trades. It will create 1,600 jobs. We will put our members back to work. It's also a project aimed for the Gold LEED certification. It will promote mass transit. It will create new pedestrian-friendly neighborhoods. It will help our city budget deficit. It will create 35 million in revenue over the first 15 years. This is a smart decision for the city. Thank you.
Frank, thanks very much for being here. Welcome.
Good morning. My name is Brock Ernest, and I've lived at 2712 Malcolm Avenue my whole life. I'm now a 22-year-old student attending Cal State Northridge. The Expo line will travel literally a block away from my house. If anyone should have a problem with it, it should be me and my family. However, I think the Expo line will be a great thing for the entire city of Los Angeles. And this project represents the kind of development we need to ensure as many people ride the Expo as possible by giving them the opportunity to live near the Sepulveda station and adopt a lifestyle that does not depend upon a car to get around. Traffic sucks on the west side, and that's for as long as I can remember. But with improvement on the horizon now, we will have invested billions of dollars into public transportation, and it is now possible to get around LA by rail. Would it be a huge waste of money and labor if we didn't make sure that the right developments and buildings were right alongside the rail line? We need a new rental housing and affordable rental housing for seniors on the west side. Those people need rental or retail and services close to their homes, and we need to create jobs and generate revenue to help the city that is in bad economical shape. I support this project, and thank you for your time.
Well, thanks for being here. Well,
Before I lose my minute, am I allowed to bring up the corrections with the staff report? Or is that considered part of my minute? Because I won't go into it if I lose part of my minute.
yes, you have a minute, so use it as you want.
Okay. All right, 5 points. Number one, my name is Ken Alper, and I have fought like the devil for the Expo line for the past decade. Very active in Friends for Our Expo and Transit Coalition. Issue number one. This project is all upside down. It's being presented. It's as upside down as the map you just saw. With regards to first issue, is industrial zoning going to be an endangered species in the city of LA? And are we focusing on short-term jobs at the expense of long-term jobs? And is the city of LA prepared for the legal liability that it's going to incur as a result of having all this so close to the freeway? Two, is this the new normal, spot zoning instead of community plans? Number three, if Casden is so transit friendly, how come the Met Expo Authority says they're not even speaking to Casden anymore? And how come every pro-transportation group has rejected this project? Number five, this is not the Wilshire subway. This is a little light rail line. We cannot build for a subway stop, for a subway that's going to carry hundreds of thousands of people. We can only build for a little light rail with only a fraction of the capacity. This is not being presented in an honest fashion, and you need to be aware of that. Thank you very much.
Ken, thanks for being here. Well,
Good morning, Commissioners. Ellie Khan, lifetime resident of Chevy Hills, here to voice my support of the project and beseech you folks to approve and move it along. This project clearly has met all the city requirements and has garnered the staff approval. And the naysayers that you'll be hearing from and just heard from, although well-intent and well-intentioned, I'm sure, have no reality in what's gone down and what's been put into this project. Clearly, we've got a transit-oriented project next to the new metro line, and with great attention given to satisfy both the environmental and all the other needs. So please think kindly of them in their negativity, but please don't delay this any further. Thank you so much.
Elliot, thank you for being here. Eric, before you begin, could I invite up Adam, I think it's Burson, Robert Nesbitt, Aaron Luber, Martin Rubin, and Terry Tippett, please. Eric, welcome.
Thank you. Good morning, commissioners. See, I'm the planning and policy director for the LA County Bicycle Coalition, but I'm actually here as a West LA resident. I think we have terrible traffic, as one of the previous commenters alluded to. And I think what we have on the west side is a jobs housing imbalance. And right now, we have a lot of jobs and not very much housing. And so we need to figure out how to solve this regional issue, which will involve building units on the west side. Because then it's a matter of locating them. It seems that locating them next to transit would be the right choice. But the issue then also is local traffic. How do we provide for local mobility? And that's walking, biking, transit. And right now, the project is good, but it's not the best. And on the west side, we do deserve the best. And so what I presented to commissioners is a two-page look at the staff report and how the conditions could be improved. One of the key ones is the lack of bike parking. We do have a bike parking ordinance in the city of LA that's new. This project was grandfathered before it. But I would like to propose that the Planning Commission adopt a policy that discretionary projects are parked to the new standards, even if they are in fact grandfathered in. Thank you.
Eric, do you have any other key points?
Yeah. The other thing is that the current parking is above code, and I think that's pretty much unacceptable for a TOD. We have the whole point of mixing uses is that we can share parking. And so if the residential guest parking and the commercial parking should be one and the same, and so there's no reason to go above code nor to provide residential guest parking. We also need to fully subsidize the transit pass, but there's a lot of loose language in the conditions that we get tightened up.
Thank you. Thank you. Welcome.
Thanks for the opportunity. I'm a resident downtown, have been since 1984, downtown Los Angeles. And since about 2002, in 2002, there were about 10,000 residents downtown. There are now over 45,000. It's just absolute movement mushroom. A large part of that is due to the fact that downtown is the center of the mass transit infrastructure. And in talking to people downtown, folks who are there, it's a huge part of why they're there, is that they don't have to drive as much as they used to. And it makes for a very exciting area, and all sorts of amenities. Don't have to drive much. You can take transit or walk. Thank you.
Thank you for being here. Welcome.
Hi there. I'm Adam Burson, and I live at 1323 South Carmelina Avenue, and I'm a lifelong resident of West LA. I fully support this project. I appreciate the transit-oriented development aspects and the need to promote the Expo line. I think the thousands of jobs and millions in revenue to our strapped-for-cash city is great, and I think cleaning up the area will do wonders for local property values. However, what I want to touch on quickly is the affordable senior housing component. When my family was searching for a good home for my grandmother, we were excited about the opening of the Menorah housing project on Pico and Veterans. I thought this was going to be an easy process and perfect for her. I could not have been more wrong. There were nearly 1,100 applicants for 46 available units. 1,100 applications. That means 1,054 seniors who were turned away, my grandmother included. We now have her in a home that is much further and thus more difficult to visit. The city is in dire need for more affordable housing for seniors on the west side, and this project will help address that problem.
Thank you for being here. Welcome.
Good morning, Martin Rubin. I live a few blocks southwest of this project. Longtime resident, active with the community. The people I know do not want to have this kind of development, which will not add to the quality of life. This is a bad project for Los Angeles. If you look at if I were a planning commissioner, someone knocked on my door and said they had this to sell, and with this whole presentation, I'd say I'm not interested. What we need is things to improve the area. This is not going to improve the area. This is going to add temperature. It's the already rising temperature. It kills the frog as it goes up, little by little. I disagree with the mayor's office. You put the right things
This is McCarthy 40 horse, like Alfred said. How about fixing traffic before you add to it?
Martin, thank you for being here. Terry, before you begin,
No,
could I
I'm not Terry.
invite Kimberly Christensen, Ryan Lawrence,
You were
Nick
before
Webster,
me,
please,
because I was last
Spencer,
year.
Beck Lawson.
I was going to, go ahead.
Welcome.
I'm Aaron Luber.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's all right. Nice to meet you. Thanks so much for taking the time. I support the project and oppose people like that. You know, I've really not been able to come before and speak my mind because of work, but you know, all the opposition I've been reading over the past 3-4 months really made me want to come here today and speak. You know, what I've read is that people don't want people living by the expo station. They don't want any retail. They don't want the expo line at all. They'd rather have the area remain industrial and a bunch of parking lots, which is crazy because of all the change and opportunity that's going to bring to the west side. You know, the opposition has a nerve to call the Casden project a transit-adjacent development, when in fact it's really a transit-oriented development. And from my point of view, Casden has done everything to meet the components of a transit-oriented project, not only encouraging transit use, but promoting alternative modes of transportation. I wrote all these down because they're very important. They are offering dense mix of resident and retail use, easy access from the station to the project site, 30-foot wide sidewalks along Sepulveda, a large-scale bike station, a bike sharing program, lots of bike parking, multiple ride-sharing programs. I mean, what more could the developer possibly do to support this right now? You know, unfortunately, people like that are not going to change their mind, but I hope that the city decision makers will listen to everybody today and support this project. Thank you.
Aaron, thanks for being here. Welcome. Just introduce yourself and begin.
I'm Terry Tippett, Chair of the West Side Neighborhood Council, representing 80,000 stakeholders in Cherry Hills, Rancho Park, and Century City. We have worked with many developers over the years. We have met with Team Casden several times. They ask for, and we provide our input. We wish they would listen to us. We say project is too big. They come back, it's bigger. We want less traffic. Size must be compatible with surrounding area. The DPSS building is 6 stories, the LAT dock 2 stories. I've met with developers who are looking at the property across the street, and they are telling me they would only go 4 to 5 stories. It's a big, huge on the east side of Sepulveda. Why must this project be as high as 16 stories, which Mr. Chu failed to mention when he was telling you stories? Other stories. If this is truly a TOD project, shouldn't pedestrians have a better safety access? Because you even questioned one of the access. If it's going to have, I have one more problem, market and big box is probably to be target. And shouldn't it have more than 45 blockers and 84 spaces, bringing people to this area with over 600 units? It just needs more if it really is going to be a TOD.
Terry, thanks for being here. Welcome. Please come forward, introduce yourself and begin.
Good morning, my name is Kimberly Christensen. I'm here on behalf of the Westwood Homeowners Association, which has about 1,200 members. Several points. One, we're opposed to the revised project. The staff person, Mr. Chu, did not point out that this is a revised project that was not in a draft environmental impact report, was not in the final environmental impact report, was not presented at the hearing officer hearing on December 5th. I would like to state that I believe there's a procedural error in holding this hearing. No documents are available on the website. When I called Mr. Chu yesterday at 4 o'clock, there was still no information on a revised traffic study allotted to this project. And I could go on, but I think you get the point. There are still traffic, air quality, land use, noise, and vibration impacts, which do not justify the overriding consideration. Increased air quality impacts with more residential uses adjacent to the 405 freeway. We would also like to extend the comment period by at least 10 days, as we would like to respond to the fact that we think there are procedural errors. This project is still inconsistent with the West LA Community Plan, General Plan zoning, industrial land use policy, the AQMD thresholds, and the city policy to locate a minimum of 500 feet away from air quality impacts. And it seems like project objectives take an overriding consideration to
Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Henry, can you make sure there's procedural issues that we can respond to those later, please? Welcome.
Hi, my name is Ryan Lawrence. I grew up in Chevy Hills, have a lot of family and friends that still live there, and her views on this, speaking on behalf of Chevy Hills, are certainly not representative of the people I know in Chevy Hills. Now, all I keep hearing from the opposition to this project is intersections that cannot be mitigated. Yes, I too have read this data in the EIR. However, these intersections are already operating under a grade act. I wonder if the city decision makers ever get bored with the same people from the same community groups attending these hearings, simply opposing everything. I'm glad to see so many fresh faces today in big numbers supporting this project. Look at the demographic of people who support this project. All ages, all ethnic backgrounds, people coming from different parts of the city. The same cannot be said for the demographic of people who are here opposing. Now that we've built the Expo line phase 1 and started work on phase 2, it's time to properly develop around it. And yes, by development, I mean densely populated residential communities with a means to live, work, shop, and travel via public transit all in one location. Some are acting as if this is a novel and scary idea. But they do it successfully in cities all around the world.
I'm gonna have to.
Please ignore the naysayers and do what's best for the city.
Thanks for being here. Welcome. Please, introduce yourself.
Good morning, Spencer Villasenor, lifetime resident of Los Angeles. I currently live in West Hollywood. We've done a lot of business in the area of the project. Let me remind everyone, the current site is a cement plant. Lots of trucks adding to this traffic that we're all talking about, causing a lot of pollution. It's an eyesore to the neighborhood, a neighborhood which is changing and will continue to evolve with the Expo line. And the cement plant is certainly not the best use of the site. As a few people have already mentioned, we need this kind of dense mixed-use development such as this one, with housing, commercial space, retail opportunities built along these dense transit corridors. Certainly going to encourage people to use that public transit. And the city has already invested quite a bit of money on projects like this. We need to make sure that we're developing around them appropriately. I know the mayor and the planning department, a lot of environmental advocacy groups are all in support of this. And I think those opposing this are standing in the way of progress, not only for their own means, but they're not considering the big picture at stake, which is the environment, jobs, and the future infrastructure of our city. Thank you, and I hope you support the project.
Thank you. Nick, before you begin, could I invite up Clay Evans, James Hanson, Eleanor Kaplan, Ira Lee Newlander, and Max Sloan, please. Welcome.
Thank you, Commissioners. Nick Webster, I'm a Vista resident. I was born in England, but moved to LA in 1987. I have a family in West LA and work in West LA. Because of that, I'm here today to speak for your project. We need more green projects like this on the Expo line. We need more projects like Casden's that have looked at the success of the Central Bike Center and tried to recreate that in their location. The urban sprawl that is LA just needs to be tamed. It's not very walkable. In London, there's so many bike paths. It's all about pedestrian experience, and I believe that this project can bring people to the Expo line and create great economic benefit for the city. I love the fact that stations have a commercial component to it, and it reminds me of being in a big city, getting off the tube and going to a station and having a great experience. And this project really is going to create that. Thankfully, our mayor, he's on board with this public transportation issue, and LA desperately needs it. So thank you for your time.
Okay. I love your sit.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Clay Evans. I live in London also. I'm going to be there in 3 weeks with my youngest, going to visit my oldest. And I think the project is going to be a great project and a great service. I moved into the West LA area when I went to UCLA in '72, started, swam for the swim team there, and then 3 years of graduate school afterwards in architecture, and I've been a swim coach ever since. Bought a house in '83 on Biona, Small Street, Venice, and Sawtell, and then I have a house for 14 years over on Berry between Palm and Venice. And I think this project will thrive. I think it's something that we will go to, we will enjoy. It's all the means that people have been a proponent of it, and it's a service. These people wouldn't put their money down and go to this effort and not provide this service if it wasn't going to work. So I'm very encouraged by that. Thank you.
Clay, thanks very much. Welcome. Please introduce yourself.
My name is James Hanson. I live in Pasadena. I took the rail all the way from Pasadena to this meeting. I have to pinch myself that I can do this in Los Angeles. It's the most wonderful thing. And I want to encourage this transit-oriented development. I think it is the right direction for the city of Los Angeles. And I think about the naysayers here. Some of them probably visit London or Paris or New York. They come back to Los Angeles and they have learned absolutely nothing about how a great city should be. I believe Los Angeles needs to go to the next level and become a better, more sophisticated place. And I think this transit-oriented development is in keeping with that idea. Thank you.
James, thank you. Please come up and introduce yourself and begin.
My name is Eleanor Kaplan, and I own an apartment building on Corinth Avenue that has been in our family for 55 years, so I'm rather familiar with the area. It's a lovely area, it's an old neighborhood. I'm in favor of the line because we do need that, but I feel that the project is much too large for the community. It's overpowering. The traffic at this point is really bad. We cannot go out Expedition to pass over Sawtell now because traffic is so congested. I don't know what they're going to do to eliminate that or make it any better. So my feeling is the project's too big. They haven't addressed the traffic now. And yet needs to just come down, and I don't know what they're doing on the Sawtell side either. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Well.
Thank you. My name is Ira Nylander. I've lived in the area. I've been a homeowner since 1976. Got a lot to say. I'm going to just cut most of it out and say that traffic is a primary concern. There was a lot of talk during the break. I heard people saying, well, this is all about greed. This is not about greed. Frankly, I have no problem with greed. I think the problem is traffic. And to paraphrase Justice Potter Stewart and Joe Biden after their traffic studies, I'm not sure I can define malarkey, but I think you can see it, know it when you see it.
Thank you. Before you begin, could I invite up Brandon Lane, Janice Tett, John Murdoch, Jill Edelbaum, and Jeanette Funfist. Welcome. Anybody in any order, please begin.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Max Sloan. I've been living in Venice for the past 6 years. I'm a board member of the Venice Neighborhood Council, but today I'm speaking only for myself. I'm from Los Angeles, born and raised, but I lived in Sydney, Australia for a while. I returned to LA because I truly love it here. During my time in Sydney, I lived in a high-rise building in Bondi Junction. Public transportation was a way of life. Everyone uses it. And in fact, my large apartment complex was located directly on top of this major Boston metro station. I could get anywhere in the city without a car. I could ride the bus to the beach with my surfboard. I could visit a museum in town. Those were good days because of public transportation. I couldn't afford a car then, and it was nice to have an option. I've been back in LA for years now, and I'm fully used to having a car. I'm a graduate student at UCLA, but I wish we had other options to get around. I would love to be able to take the subway downtown out of town, but I'm in support of the project. Thank you.
Max, thanks for being here. Welcome.
Hi, good morning. My name is Janice Tett, and I'm here in favor of the project. Although I currently live in Mar Vista area, so I am familiar traveling through the West Los Angeles area. And so the issues that were listed, they're real concerns, but I really don't see how you cannot pass this project, because number one is there's not a whole lot of affordable anything in West Los Angeles. And the senior units, hopefully by the time they're completed, I'll be old enough to qualify for one. You know, but, and I think that more affordable apartment dwellings should be in the area. It will be pedestrian friendly, bicycle, what more can we ask for? And I think we should pass this plan to be to move forward. Thank you.
Janice, thank you. Welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. My name is John Murdoch. I'm the attorney for the west side south of Santa Monica Boulevard homeowners. I passed in a letter, it's an 8-page letter this morning that I hope you have a chance to read. I won't have
We did see it.
time to go through it. But there are a couple of issues that, we're all in favor of mass transit. There's no question about that. The issue is this project, the Casden project, the residential component of it, is not necessary for mass transit. The Expo line will be built regardless of whether the Casden facet goes through or not. So what you have to look at, I believe, as planners are what are some of the issues that are being glossed over here? First of all, for a charter, a general plan amendment, the only people that are allowed to initiate that are you, the planning commissioners, or the city council, or the planning director. None of that has happened. This is by request of the applicant, the property owner. Charter doesn't say that the owner can do that. Secondly, the two key issues that are not mitigated, and you really have to go through the materials in the EIR, traffic, and the air quality impacts on the occupants of these buildings. According to the CARB, the California Air Quality Board, you really should not be placing seniors and children in this proximity to the 405, Sepulveda, and Pico with 380,000.
Any more key points you want to mention?
I refer you to my letter.
Great.
Thank you.
I'm going to ask everybody in an effort to have the most fair hearing we can not to apply. I'm sorry, it's not the forum for that. Welcome.
Hi, my name is Brandon Kane. I'm a lifelong resident of West LA. I work for my father's construction company. We've been in business for over 55 years, seen the ups and downs of the economy like any other small business. And I'm not sure if you've noticed, but there aren't a lot of shovels in the ground these days. This is a good project. We need the jobs. I'm not an expert in transportation or an urban planner, but I do understand common sense. More people using public transit means less cars on the road, which means less people complaining about traffic. There seems to be a lot of complaining these days, but not a lot of solutions. And the status quo is no longer acceptable. I respectfully ask that you support this project. Thanks for your time.
Thanks for being here. Welcome.
Thank you. My name is Jill Teitelbaum. I live at 9367 Aerodrome Street in Beverlywood. Given its proximity to the Expo Line's future Sepulveda station, the site of the proposed Casden West LA project represents a rare opportunity to build a true transit-oriented development that provides a mix of residential and commercial uses. As traffic only worsens, especially along the Pico corridor, this project will help reduce congestion along critical boulevards connecting the west side to Mid-City and beyond. We must not let the opportunity to increase the system's ridership and encourage people to move away from their reliance on cars pass us by. A state-of-the-art bike station, reserved parking for car sharing programs, transit passes for tenants and employees, and extra wide sidewalks are just some of the elements that will turn the stretch of Sepulveda into a true pedestrian corridor. Meeting these ambitious goals by building dense mixed-use projects next to public transit is the key to building a sustainable future. I support this project. Thank you.
Jill, thanks for being here. Could I invite out Doris Nelson, please, Victoria Moore, Tasha Williamson, John Page, and Colleen Mason Heller, please. Welcome. Please introduce yourself to the candidate board.
Hi, my name is Victoria Moore, and I wrote a personal account of why I think this project should be accepted. I have always used public transportation, even when I owned a car, because of the convenience and low cost. Not only did I learn more about the city on the bus, I also got to meet a lot of interesting people. Then in 2010, I became even more dependent on the bus because I was diagnosed with breast cancer and had to travel to a lot of doctor's appointments and medical procedures. At the time, the buses were becoming increasingly crowded and the wait at the stops grew longer and longer. Just when I was at my wit's end, the Expo line opened and I became a regular rider. My stress level decreased and my enjoyment at rediscovering the city increased. Now that there are plans to open an expo line at Sepulveda, I'm excited about the possibilities. Besides alleviating traffic in a very congested location, it will also allow people from other places, other parts of the city, to travel there, obtain employment, shop, and expand their worlds.
Victoria, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you. I'm Doris Nelson. I'm a resident of West LA, in fact, quite close to Sawtell and Exposition and Pico. I've lived here for about 50 years. The problem with the project is that it is too big. We are not in opposition to public transportation. In fact, we have supported public transportation in many, many different ways. So the problem is not that we are opposed to public transportation. We are opposed to this project because it is too big and the impact on the area is too severe, not only in terms of traffic, but in terms of the idea of building housing where air quality is not good. And in fact, its own EIR says that they will have to have special mitigating situations in the apartments to deal with the air quality. Thank you. I oppose, as you can guess, I oppose this project.
Thanks for taking the time to be here. Well,
my name is John Page, and I live at 11527 Vienna Way in Mar Vista. I've grown up in Mar Vista. I've lived in Mar Vista my entire life, and I was kind of upset to learn that our local neighborhood group, the Mar Vista Community Council, so adamantly opposed to this project. I'm sure there's a lot of thoughtful and bright people on the board. I just don't understand the opposition to this development. In an age when we become so environmentally conscious, we should be embracing the departure of a cement batching plant that does absolutely nothing for the area, but look unsightly and create truck traffic and pollution. Casden's project will be a green one, a LEED Silver project. And it will be a great benefit to our community in turning this grim industrial site, which has been there for a number of years, into a thriving, environmentally sustainable, pedestrian-friendly center where we can all live, work, and feel free and safe. So I look forward to using the Expo line when Phase 2 opens, and the Sepulveda station will be my home base. I fear that many of these opposing the project either don't like the Expo line and won't use the Expo line, therefore don't want to see it happen. So I appreciate your time. Thank you.
John, thanks very much. Welcome.
My name is Tasha Williamson. I have a 99-year-old grandmother, and I understand some of the views of the Los Angeles people and residents that are here. I approve this project. One, because I live in a community where we also have the Expo line, and it has made it a lot more convenient. We don't have as much traffic, but we have a lot of people that don't look like us coming into our neighborhood and engaging with us. So we get to engage with other ethnicities and learn. Our children get to play and interact with them. I think that with the new era, we need to have new technology, new developments, and people that have psychological barriers need to rise up to those changes. It's unfortunate that we're all here today opposing and for, against one another and for one another. But I hope that you guys will make the decision to allow people to engage one another in communities together. Thank you.
Tasha, thank you very much. Nicely said. Before you begin, could I invite up Margaret Brody, Eric Anthony, John, I think you believe it's Slowick, Ron Adams, and Patty Schwab. Welcome. Please introduce yourself and begin.
My name is Colleen Mason Heller, and I'm representing the Chevy and Hills Homeowners Association. I'm on that board as the light rail chair. I'm also the mobility chair of the West Side Neighborhood Council, on whose behalf I am not speaking today. With that introduction, it is ironic that we hear MTA is now giving grants to the city. That's great, considering they didn't even pay for the Sepulveda overcrossing that will service the Casden project and the Expo Light Rail. The city had to pay for that, so I guess this is a quid pro quo. The city of Los Angeles, West Los Angeles, is poised on the brink of a perfect storm of traffic congestion, air pollution, business failures, infrastructure failures,
and neighborhood destructions at the hand of the city planning department. The Expo Phase 2 should not be completed with this project. The Expo Phase 2 DEIR did not even mention the Casden project or its impacts, in spite of the fact that MTA, the Expo Authority, and Casden were already in an exclusive negotiating agreement at the time the DEIR was published. The Casden project used flawed assumptions, and what you really need to know is the bike path, which the city planned, requires the reduction of lanes on Westwood, on Sepulveda, on Bundy, in this same project area, and yet the planning department analysis study of the bike path doesn't consider Casden, and the Casden project doesn't consider the bike path. The city has failed to have three projects that are related, and yet the EIRs from all three fail to consider each of them. Thank you.
Once again, I'm gonna ask you, in light of everybody and respect for everyone, not to applaud. Thank you.
Patty Shava, I'm here representing the West Los Angeles Chamber of Commerce. I'm going to read a letter that was submitted. On behalf of the West Los Angeles Chamber of Commerce, we would like to voice our support for the proposed Casden project near the intersection of Pico and Sepulveda. We believe that a mixed-use residential retail project adjacent to the Expo Line Sepulveda station will be a great benefit to the West LA community. We especially like the idea of having a grocery store at this site, as the area desperately needs it. One of our missions at the West LA Chamber is to create an environment that promotes business, thereby strengthening the community. We believe that this project will do just that. With over 1,000 new residents and nearly 700 permanent, much-needed jobs generated, there will be a high influx of new customers to shop at the existing retailers and eat at the local restaurants in the area. In these tough economic times, we believe this investment in our community is an opportunity to make a real positive difference to the West Side. We are excited to support Casden in their efforts to bring new residents jobs and grocery stores to the West LA community.
Thank you. Welcome.
Good morning. I'm John Slowick, again with the West Los Angeles Chamber of Commerce, and we're here to fully support the Casden project. We believe it'll bring many wonderful things to the community. It is going to bring many new jobs, but it's going to bring a lot of people coming to shop in the area. A lot of money will be spent, a lot of revenue for the businesses. Now, our office is right there on Pico and Westwood, and every week I see people going out of business, closing their doors. There are so many vacancies up and down Pico and Westwood Boulevard. Hopefully this project is going to bring more people to the area, fill those vacancies, and keep the existing businesses in business. It'll bring jobs to the area, affordable senior housing. We firmly believe this is a win-win proposition for everyone. We fully support it. Thank you very much.
John, thank you. Welcome.
Good morning. Ron Adams, President and CEO of the West Los Angeles Chamber of Commerce. I do have to apologize for having three of us in a row. With our busy schedules, we want to make sure that at least one of us was here so that we would be heard. Since 1945, we've been in business, and we started the Los Angeles Business Association in West Los Angeles. Our goal has always been to promote business, to supply a solid foundation for the community. It is for this reason that we support Casden and its efforts in this project to create economic opportunity in the West Los Angeles area. Thank you very much for your time and consideration.
Ron, thank you. Welcome.
Good morning. My name is Eric Anthony, and I'm here on behalf of the Los Angeles Business Council. The LABC's mission promotes environmental and economic sustainability, and we've recently published a livable community study that highlights the need to correct the housing jobs balance in Los Angeles. That being said, I'm here to support the Casden West LA project because of its job creation, revenue generation, and smart infill development that positions the project next to the Expo Line station as an example of transit-oriented development. This project will create 700 new jobs, 1,600 construction jobs, and 600 new apartments. That includes an affordable senior housing component, which we need in LA. The LABC supports this Casden West LA project and partners with the Mayor, City Council, and planning department to do the same. Thank you.
Thank you for being here. Barbara, before you begin, could I invite up Janet Garstang, Gregory Wright, Stephen Resnick, Daryl Clark, And Chris Hammond, please.
I'm Barbara Beretti, president of Westwood South of Santa Monica Boulevard Homeowners Association, representing over 3,800 households in the area. We diagonally across from and span 2 Santa Monica Boulevard from this project. We did not recruit speakers to come here. We did not serve donuts or hand out speeches that have been folded in people's pockets and presented by the consultants to the project. It's insulting to me and our organization and our residents to have them criticize us. Disingenuous. We believe the traffic, the project is too dense. There are too many problems that cannot be mitigated. But worse than that, there are tremendous opportunities that are being missed with this project and the opportunity to put conditions if it's approved and hopefully downsized if it's approved. We need to talk about a West Side Transit Center. This is key. Yes, the location is unique, but not for many of the reasons listed. It's unique because of how it is located and what transit corridors it's adjacent to. We need to have a West Side Transit Center there. This is key to bringing Expo to life, to making connections with other routes, to Expo, to the LAX flyaway, to all of the bus lines blue and green.
So Barbara, really quickly, what are your key points for the West Side Transit Center?
There has to be a place for passengers to come and go. More than a bus stop, more than a shelter.
Just give me the list if you could first.
Okay, for this transit center, we need to have places where people can find routes and options and connections. There need to be covered places for them to wait for transit. There need to be places for buses to lay over. There is a comment in the draft, in the staff report that says that the creation of a regional transit center at this single location is beyond their control and even the MTA. Well, I don't think we should care whose control it's in. It's somebody's job to bring all of these parties together and look at the possibilities and start the plan and devise a plan to make it work for the transit operators, for the city, for the residents, for people who need to go to LAX.
Are you going to stay? We can invite you up when we focus on that.
Great, and I have my letter which has a one-page summary about what a transit center can be.
Perfect. And do all the commissioners have that?
Nope.
Oh, thank you. Welcome. Please introduce yourself to begin.
Hi, my name is Janet Garsdang. I live at 2216 South Bend Lane. I've been a homeowner there for, as of this May, I'll be completing my 35th year living there. I think I live closer than anyone else because I spend around approximately a block and a half from the proposed Casden development. I am the president of my homeowners association. It's a town home building. I am also a member of the Westwood South of Santa Monica Homeowners Association. And I want to be very, very clear, no one's recruited me at all to come out here. And not the most convenient location, but I thought it was very important to make it very clear that there are a number of people, like everyone I've spoken to on my street, in that lives in my building, that are in support of the Casden project. I've heard repeatedly that the transit systems that work in other cities in LA, people won't get out of their cars, that there's nothing that's going to change that. I'm in support. I've done a lot of research on it, and I think it will be a benefit economically and socially to the area. Thank you.
Thank you very much for taking the time to be here. Welcome. Please introduce yourself to begin.
Good morning, Commissioner. Stephen Resnick, President of the Westwood Homeowners Association. One of the things in the recommendation report, or something that's glaringly omitted in my opinion, and may have been talked about by a previous speaker, is the 2010 bicycle plan. There currently, your colleagues in the planning department and DOT are planning a southbound bicycle lane down Sepulveda Boulevard. And there's a huge safety issue with that. This could take away parking. It could take away, if it takes away a sidewalk right in front of this, there could be safety issues. In the recommendation report, it talks about it, acknowledged heavy traffic, anticipates potential difficulty with traffic turning from Sepulveda onto this, and with bicycles going down, there are real issues that I think you should examine. And in addition, unspecified mitigation measures regarding traffic, with unspecified money going to unspecified measures with nobody to watch it, is also a big concern. Thank you, Commissioner.
Welcome, please introduce yourself.
Hello, I'm Gregory Wright, a private citizen of Los Angeles. I support the greatest possible and most rapid possible decarbonization of our society, and I tentatively support the Casden project to the extent it actually and dramatically promotes transit use in West LA, and to the extent it materially and demonstrably helps lower the carbon footprint of the region. To help accomplish this, the Casden project needs to disincent car use and incent MTA use by providing fully paid for MTA transit passes and substantial car share cost sharing to every resident who certifiably does not own and does not garage or have a parking space for a car there. This needs to be a substantial majority of the residents. Further, the project should be required to subsidize the offering by the project retailers meaningful discounts on their products and services to their customers.
Impact report, and this was circulated in April of 2012, and the circulation period ended on June 18th of 2012. A notice of completion for the final EIR was issued November 15th. The project was presented to the Professional Volunteers Program. The public hearing was held on December 5th, 2012 in West Los Angeles. There were some revisions made in response to the public hearing, and that was presented to various members of the Planning Department and the Urban Design Studio on December 27th. The Planning Department made comments on the project, and the applicant provided a revised set of plans in January of this year. There's also an additional case that's associated with this project, but this is a subdivision case and it's on hold, and that will be processed on a future date. As I mentioned in the previous screen, there were project revisions made, and I'd like to go over some of those project revisions. The project reduced the commercial component by 100,000 square feet in order to address the number of significant traffic impacts caused by the original project. The podium level was reduced by 22 feet. The peak building heights were reduced and redistributed to different parts of the building. The distance between the structures were actually increased. The number of residential dwelling units increased from 538 to 638. Level P4, which is a subterranean level, was designed to allow commercial resident parking and allow the project to respond to future parking demands. There is no longer any building proposed over the public storage land, which was part of the original project, and the number of parking spaces actually decreased, but the project still complies with what's required from the code. This next slide shows the different properties involved. The blue portion is the Casden property. The red portion is the MTA right-of-way, and that green portion is part of the neighboring public storage operation, and the applicant has proposed to use a surface easement, which they're pursuing at, I don't know what the status is at this moment, but they're pursuing that. This slide shows the layout of the ground level plan. And as I mentioned, there are neighborhood service and retail uses. We have the future Sepulveda station located at the southeast portion of the site. North is actually sloping downwards. We have Pico Boulevard with a small frontage of the project site. We have the 405 freeway. And we have right here the public storage building and the county building right here. And this portion also includes the MTA bikeway. This is the podium plan, which shows the amenities and the landscaping, which is located above ground level. It'll range from 22 to 35 feet, depending on where you measure the height. And you have building 4, which comprises of the bulk of the residential units located at the southwest portion of the site. Building 3 fronts Pico. Building 2 is next to the county building and is market rate along with buildings 3 and 4. And building 1 is the senior housing building, which will be closest to the Sepulveda station. We have the bike facility also proposed nearest, the bike storage facility which is proposed nearest the station. Let's go quickly to pedestrians. This slide shows how residents from buildings 4 and 3 will be able to reach the Sepulveda station. So residents will be able to come down to the podium level, go through the podium, down to Sepulveda via an elevator or stairs, and reach the station for Sepulveda. There's a commercial lobby area right along Pico Boulevard. There's one additional lobby area at the southwest portion of the site, which residents can also access to go down to the Sepulveda station. Next slide.
So there is a lobby at the.
There is a lobby that allows the residents to walk through.
So they'd have to walk the access, right?
They have to walk the access road or go to the podium. This next slide shows how this next slide shows how residents from buildings 1 and 2 will be able to access the Sepulveda station. So this bottom arrow is an elevator and stairs used by residents to go down onto Sepulveda and walk towards the south to hit the station. We have the senior building where residents are able to go on the west portion of the building and go down and have easy access to the Sepulveda station. And this is the additional elevator stairs that allows the residents from building 3 and 4 to go down to the.
Where is that? Are there stairs?
There are stairs proposed for adjacent to the elevators of the building.
Just not shown.
This slide shows how the expo riders will be able to access those details. So here we have the Sepulveda station, and they'll be able to go down into the Sunset Plaza. So again, let me remind you that the station is above grade, that they'll be able to go down to the stairs, the ground level, then see a sunken plaza that'll lead to a grocery market, which is below grade, and a big box retail, which will require stairs up. Transit riders will also be able to go along the south portion of the site and reach Sepulveda Boulevard to access the senior building, the elevator, stairs onto the podium, and building number 2. This is the slide that shows vehicular circulation, where nearest Exposition Boulevard and the MTA right of way, we have resident parking able to go in from the south, and this is the building fire access. We have additional residential driveways located near the Expo station, and we have a commercial entry located further north. The next slide shows the commercial entry exit located along Pico Boulevard. I'd like to go over the renderings real quick. This is a rendering of the proposed building number 2, or excuse me, building number 3, which is adjacent to the public storage building, and then we have the county building located to the east.
Henry, can you give us the heights on those number of stories and height?
Building number 2 is 8 to 9 stories, 126 feet. This is the senior building, which is closest to the transit station. I'm sorry. This is building number 3. That's building number 2. Building number 2 will be 8 to 9 stories, 126 feet. This is from the single-family residential dwellings located just south of the project site. This rendering actually includes that proposed metro parking for the Sepulveda station, which you can see right here. And this is building number 4 that we're looking at. This is from Exposition Boulevard, and here we get a view of building number 1, which is the senior building, and that will be 96 feet tall and 6 stories in the height, 6 stories above the podium in height. slide is, this next slide captures the commercial uses proposed along Sepulveda Boulevard. And here we can see the overpass, or that's the line which is above grade. And this rendering is from ground level when a transit rider would come down from the turnstile. And this is that view proposed big box where, I don't know if you can see it here, but there's stairs that lead to the big box retail. There's a sunken plaza where patrons will be able to go down and shop. So I'd like to give an overview of the requested entitlements. The project proposes a general amendment zone and high district change, a conditional use for alcohol, density bonus, and a site plan review. So the general plan first. The request by the applicant is to amend the West Los Angeles Community Plan and change the land use designation of the project site and ad area. The ad area includes the county building and the public storage building. The request would propose the land use designation be changed from light manufacturing and public facilities to community commercial. In the report, staff recommends the approval of the general plan amendment for the project site from light manufacturing to community commercial, but recommends disapproval of the GPA for the ad areas located right here. The story behind this was when the applicants first came to Department of City Planning, it was the planning department that recommended that the entire block be part of that general plan amendment, so that we have zoning, or that we have a whole block designated as community commercial. As staff analyzed this request, staff discovered that there would be inconsistencies created by the zoning and the land use designation, where the MC1 zones wouldn't be consistent with the community commercial land use designation. And so staff recommended disapproval of that request, but approval of just the project site. The project also includes a request for zone and district change. Currently, the site is zoned M210 and PF1 itself, and the proposed zone would be TQC210. And basically, the zone change would permit residential units on the site, and the height district change would remove the height limitation on the PF portion of the site. The third request would be for conditional use for the sale or dispensing of a full line of alcohol for off-site consumption, and this would be for the proposed retail store and the grocery market. Staff has included conditions of approval that are standard, typical of developments that are for grocery markets and for a retail store. Staff made findings that there wouldn't be an over-concentration of alcohol in the area, and also that there would not be any negative impacts to residential communities. Another request would be a density bonus as part of LAMC 1222-825 and Government Code 65915, 65918. The project will propose senior affordable units. 71 units are proposed, and that calculates to 11% that would be set aside for very low income seniors. And the applicant has proposed a third-year covenant to set aside building one for senior households.
Henry, could you explain that to everybody who's here, and the commissioners, density bonus, and what formula, what menu items this applicant is looking for?
Right, so if a project is proposing density bonus, there's a certain percentage that they need to set aside to qualify for a certain percentage of a density bonus. So in this example, because they're providing 11% that's set aside, they're eligible for 35% density bonus. And I listed some of the requirements to qualify for density bonus. So the project needs to be commercially zoned, which is part of the request. The project needs to front a major highway, and at least half the site needs to be within 1,500 feet of the transit stop. So with the project, proposing a C2 zoning. They're allowed a density of 400 square feet per unit. And with this calculation of the project site and divide that by 400, you get 710 by right units. And if they're able to meet that 35% density bonus, they're given, you basically calculate the by right unit by 135%, and that gives 959 units with that density bonus. They also have a parking option, and they're proposing half an overview of the proposed project. Will give you information on the project site and provide information on the background. We'll cover the pedestrian and vehicular circulation for the site. We'll go over the requested entitlements. We'll discuss the environmental impact report, cover the issues raised at the December 5th public hearing, and then we'll provide a conclusion. The project site, or the Casden Sepulveda project, is a 785,564 square foot mixed-use project on a 6.5 acre site. The project proposes a floor area ratio of 2.77 to 1 and involves four main components of the project. The first one being residential dwellings, which will include market rate and senior affordable units, and 4 residential buildings built over a commercial podium. It'll involve commercial retail and a plaza, more specifically a grocery market and a big box with neighborhood serving retail. There will be a bicycle facility and other programs involved, included in the project, and there's also an MTA right-of-way that's included as part of the project site. Let's go over the residential component of the project. As I mentioned, there are 4 buildings built over the commercial podium. There will be 567 market rate units within buildings 2, 3, and 4. And within building 1, there will be 71 affordable senior units and 1 manager's unit. The senior building will include its own recreation room for the senior occupants. The project proposes 835 parking spaces for the residents and 160 guest spaces for the residential uses. And the project heights will be as follows. Building 1 will be 96 feet tall and be about 6 stories. Building 2 will be 8 to 9 stories and be 126 feet tall. Building 3 will also be 8 to 9 stories and 126 feet tall. And building 4 will be 16 stories and 196 feet tall. And the mix of the residential units will range from studio to 1 to 2 to 3 bedroom units. With regards to the commercial component of the retail plaza, there's a total of 160,000 square feet of retail. 50,000 square feet will be for the grocery market, which will be proposed below grade, and 110,000 will be at grade, and a big portion of that will be the big box retail. The remaining portions of the retail will be placed along Sepulveda and will be neighborhood serving retail uses. The commercial component will also provide code required parking and total 640 parking spaces. With regards to the bicycle facility and programs, the project proposes a bicycle storage facility which will allow a bicyclist to store, rent, and repair their bicycle. There will be 40 bicycle parking spaces and an additional 84 bicycle parking spaces within levels P4, P5, and P6, which are subterranean levels. The project is also proposing a car share program, and staff has conditioned the project to set aside 8 spaces for this car share program. Another component.
A question, when you go through the plan, can you show us exactly what type of parking?
Sure. Yes. The bike share program, we don't have much detail on that component of the project. All we know that is the applicant is proposing that to be closer to the Sepulveda station, which I'll show later in the presentation. So the project site is very unique in that it's located and includes a portion of the Metro Rail Exposition Line corridor and station, the phase 2 portion of the project. The phase 2 portion of the Expo line begins at Venice and Robertson, which I'll try to point right there, and it ends at Santa Monica. The project site also includes a MTA bikeway, and this map shows a bicycle plan for the West LA area. And here we have Sepulveda Boulevard, and here we have Pico Boulevard, and we have the proposed Expo Sepulveda station right here in the project site is located. It is inclusive of the station and located just north of that station. This green line is a bikeway path proposed by the MTA, and Sepulveda is also proposed for a bike lane. So as I mentioned, the MTA right-of-way is included in the project site, so the MTA is a co-applicant of this project. The MTA right-of-way includes the Expo Sepulveda station, which will be an above-grade Expo line, which is located to the south on the southern portion of the project site. There's a proposed Expo line parking structure located across Exposition Boulevard, which is not part of the project. And as I showed in the previous slide, there's a bikeway proposed, and this is a designated funded bike path to the south. Now, the project site is located at the northeast of the 405 and the 110 freeway. And this is an aerial shot of the project site. Here we have a cement batch path. Here we have the cement batch plant. We have the public storage facility right here. We have a county building right here. The MTA right-of-way is on the southern portion of the project site. We have Pico Boulevard, which bounds the project to the north. We have Sepulveda Boulevard, which bounds the project to the east. The 405 freeway, which bounds the project to the west. And Exposition Boulevard, which bounds the project to the south. And we've identified the future Metro Expo Sepulveda station, as well as the parking structure proposed to the south of the project. Just wanted to provide some aerial shots of the project site, or some photos of the project site. Here we're looking towards the east on Pico Boulevard. This is from Cotner, and we're looking towards the south onto the project site. This photo is a picture looking down Sepulveda Boulevard towards the south. And this is from the corner of Sepulveda and Exposition looking to the northwest at the project site and the MTA right-of-way. As I mentioned, the project site is the project site is bounded by Pico Boulevard and Sepulveda Boulevard, and this is a land use map that shows the land use designation as well as the zoning of the project site. And here we have surrounding areas. The area is very unique in that there's a wide range of commercial and manufacturing uses around the project site. I'd like to point those out. To the north on Pico, you have a Spartan Final and you have other retail uses. You have Anawalt Lumber located to the east. You have other manufacturing uses located further to the east. This is the U.S. Postal Service facilities. We have here the Henry Medina traffic parking enforcement facilities. And we have single-family uses right here and a mix of single-family and multi-family residential uses along Sepulveda Boulevard. There is a manufacturing use right here, and there's also a multi-family building right here, and then this portion of Sepulveda includes a mix of multi-family and some single-family uses. And then across, we have the fiber and other commercial uses to the south of that lot. So the project site is located within the West Los Angeles Community Plan, which serves as a guide by providing programs, policies, and objectives for the guide development within the West Los Angeles area. The project site is also identified as part of the industrial land use policy, which is a comprehensive study of the use of industrial zone land within the city of Los Angeles. The Department of City Planning and CRA were instructed to undertake the study of the use of the industrial zone land in the city and provide policy recommendations to guide future land use decisions. And the project site was identified within this area of study and was designated as an industrial mixed-use district. On January of 2008, a memo to staff was issued, and that memo directed staff to preserve industrial zoning consistent with the West Los Angeles Community Plan and to study opportunities for a new mixed-use zone. The zone would include industrial, commercial, and limited amount of compatible residential uses, and a significant mandatory minimum jobs component specifically forbidding standalone residential uses. The project site, the industrial land use memo also provides short-term staff direction on conversion of industrial uses to other uses and development that includes residential uses that involves jobs producing component, brings other community benefits such as relocation and compensation.
And this is the look of the station, the story area next to the station. But what's more important than that is that we are working very strongly to providing the ride share assistance that makes the station that much more important. Both bicycle and car share for both residents and for the general public and transit people. Next one. Again, you've already seen this elevation. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Project enhancements have already gone over, and basically we modified the project so that we can reduce the significant traffic impacts that we've had. We've made, notwithstanding we're asking an increase in residential units, we've diminished the retail accordingly, so that it was a big trade-off. Go ahead. Next one back. Okay.
Chairman, Commissioners, Johannes van Tilburg, VTBS Architect. I'm going to be brief as well because Henry really did a very thorough explanation of the project. A couple of things for everybody. That diagram north is on the bottom, essentially, where it was normally done. Expedition on the top, Sepulveda to the left, and Pico on the bottom. The Expo Plaza is located here in our plaza, so there's a direct connection on Graydon down to a sunken plaza at this point here, because everybody realizes that the light rail station is raised at this point. A bike path along Exposition, double row of trees and 35-foot sidewalk along Sepulveda with community serving retail along Sepulveda. The edge, the exposure along Pico is very small. Next slide, please. The market at the lower level, again, this point is important to make. The connection is so direct and so straightforward. You hit the light rail station, you go downstairs. You walk across the plaza, you're in the market. Of course, there's also parking around the market, entering into various points that I'll explain in a minute. subterranean market, below grade market, like the Gelson's at Century City that's been there for a long time. Next slide, please. Vehicular access, so the red is commercial, right in, right out at Sepulveda, left in. Pico, right in, right out at Pico, left in. Exposition, right in, right out, left in, right out. Residential is the green, staying on Exposition, right in, right out. I have to left out both places, a tunnel under the raised berm of the light rail. And along Sepulveda, right in and right out. Next, please. Podium level, raised podium, mixed use development with retail and ground floor raised podium, building 1 seniors, building 2, building 3, and building 4. Market rate units, the large open space in the middle, about an acre and a third, about 60,000 square feet of open space, a very large area. Next slide, please. Now, I just want to quickly take you around the site. We're starting obviously at the station, raised station. Station is right here. We're looking under the raised overpass over Sepulveda. Project is behind you. Next. A little wider view where you start seeing the retail neighborhood serving retail along Sepulveda with the senior building and the other building behind. And then close out, you see that double row of trees. See the 35-foot sidewalk. When you look behind it, there's the station. You go downstairs, you walk right along Sepulveda, or you go into our own plaza. Next, please. Pico, very small exposure, but still enough for vehicular entrance, commercial only, and our residential lobby on the site here. Next, please. And then I'm back to where I started with this point connection, point extending in the Expo Plaza, looking at our Sunken Plaza. You can go upstairs to the big box retail, or downstairs to the market. Bike storage, bicycle connection, retail connection, all made at one point. That's the end of my presentation. I want to thank you very much, and if there are any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. Thank you very much.
Giannis, can you tell me who is the landscape architect on the project?
LA Group is the landscape architect. Roger Pressburger's old company, which is now taken over by City Yoga Park.
Do you have a landscape plan you could speak to?
We could go back to the if we go back to the podium slide. There we go. The landscape, the senior building will have its own, in this acre and a third, with its own landscape area here. But also, one thing I didn't mention, there's about a 90-foot gap between building 1 and building 2, facing Sepulveda, and about a 70-foot gap that is across the light rail to its exposition. And free for the seniors themselves, a garden here. The leasing for the residential is downstairs. You come up to a trellis, you walk across, recreation building for the